Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Currency of Anarchy. I'm Josh Davis.
Michael Freeman.
Mike Dano.
If
And Marcel Fontaine.
I'm sorry, guys. So, yeah, if you guys want to find us live during our live tapings on Monday nights, you can do that at youtube.com/user/cur of anarchy. And then on Wednesday afternoons at 3 p.m., I post the final product, which is edited, full of graphics and everything. You can find that at youtube.com/user/voluntary-virtues. And if you have any comments during our live taping, please put it in our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/cur of anarchy, and you can find that thread that I posted there. So, yeah, Michael, you've got a couple of guests.
So yeah, we're joined tonight with Marcel Fontaine, up-and-coming celebritarian from Connecticut. He just recently spoke at PorcFest. He runs a Facebook page called, and I'm gonna mess this up, I apologize, LGBT for Gun Rights, which is quite the anti-stigma. And yeah, he spoke at Liberty Fest. I met the kid at PorcFest, and we hit it off pretty well, just like everybody else I met there. Just like the kids on my side here, Mike Dano, who I met at PorcFest, who's from Rhode Island and lives down the street, and his girlfriend and my girlfriend are in the kitchen doing their girl thing right now, and
That's cool.
yeah. So yeah, we just wanted to talk to Marcel about his work and just see what's cooking recently, So Marcel, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
By the way, I'm glad to be on here. I'm Marcel Fontaine. I've basically been in the liberty movement since 2011. I mean, like I was once a Occupy Wall Street supporter, and I kind of saw the light of first is basically being a constitutionalist, and so that I was like a constitutionalist for. First I was kind of like somewhat of a socialist, I guess you could put it that way. And then I became a constitutionalist when I met when I saw Ron Paul and stuff. I saw what Ron Paul was saying and stuff. One of his biggest things that I actually liked is basically the no bailouts and no subsidies and stuff like that for corporations and stuff. That was basically what really got me onto it. And then once I heard his anti-corporatism stance, that was actually what really got me onto it. Although I was also pretty anti-capitalist at the time, once I heard Ron Paul actually saying we don't have true capitalism, and I'm just like, maybe I should research this. So I researched it, and we don't really have true capitalism. It's more corporatism, but yeah, that's and then I basically voted for Ron Paul in 2011 primary, 2012 I think, and then after the RNC, I was basically a Gary Johnson supporter, and then afterwards I just basically lost all faith in the system, and I just I basically became an ANCAP, or free market anarchist.
Great, cool, yeah, good story. Mine is similar. I didn't understand. You say cronyism, I say state capitalism myself, but I didn't understand that capitalism is not what it actually is, and I took the Constitution route. I took the conspiracy route until I finally came to the idea of real freedom, right?
Yeah, but yeah, and just recently I spoke at Liberty Fest down in New York City. It was a really amazing experience. I mean, although there was this one speaker that was well, the first speaker was basically going on and on and on, and then basically Ian Coffey, the person who actually ran the whole entire thing, said do not do what she is doing. So I basically said, okay, I'll keep it nice and short and simple. I mean, like, I already, like, had it all prepared. I basically stopped watching myself just so I could have so I can make sure that it is the allotted time that I'm actually speaking. So I did it nice, short, and sweet, and it was a really good presentation. I got a lot of interviews. I even got an interview from Vice News, and that's just impressive. So yeah, like, I even got, and even based on that article, I even got mentioned in Reason. So I was just like, wow, like, that's Reason right there. That's basically the libertarian type of, like, type of, journalism right there. It's just like that. Oh my gosh, I was just like all ecstatic at first, and then I just basically calmed myself down. But yeah, it was an amazing experience. I got a lot of support, and plus and yeah, I also got a lot of interviews. But yeah, it was all overwhelming, a really good time.
Yeah, that's good. And while I'm not going to call myself a fan of Reason Magazine, they are a big deal. I noticed your name being dropped the week after Liberty Fest. I'm sorry, quite a bit, pretty often. So what I'd like to ask is, do you think you could get into the topic of your speech a little bit?
Oh, sure. Basically, the whole entire ideal of my speech is trying to get a lot more LGBT folks to the cause of liberty, because there's not really too much, though, per se. I mean, there are. I have to, like, say that there is, for a fact. There is liberty-minded individuals that are actually within the LGBT community, and that's impressive. Um, but I'm just not seeing a lot of people that are. So I just want to bring them into the liberty movement. But like, I know that people might have, like, different views of her and so like that. But unlike, Kathy Reisenwitz, I'm not going to, like, sacrifice libertarian principles just to actually get people to the liberty movement.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel that I'm doing. So I was like, I basically did it all by the book, and I, like, did an amazing speech. A lot of people were actually like, and I've basically mentioned that, with today and so like that basically some businesses were basically, like, being under fire, and LGBT people using the state as the means to actually enforce their acceptance. So I basically flat out condemned it. I did not support using the state to actually force businesses to actually accept me. I basically told them to get the free market alternative, and by, like, going on the profit incentive, and actually, like, like basically telling, consumers to be very wary of this business, and so that to eliminate their future profits, and so that thus actually making them bankrupt and stuff. That's basically what I was basically talking about as well. And plus, I was talking about, like, how most LGBT people are for gun control. And I mentioned that if LGBT people actually carried more guns, or even more or more individuals, to be in more semantical wording, if a lot more individuals, even in the LGBT community, it'll actually reduce crimes or even hate crimes per se. So that's what I was like, that's what I also perceived in that as well. And I also mentioned that the left usually tries to make the LGBT cause as a pawn in their own little power games in order to get people in power elected, especially onto the Democrat side, or even even the far left side, which is basically communism or something like that. And I even mentioned that some people in the LGBT community even advocate for communism and socialism, but yet I mentioned that that people like Joseph Stalin and Che Guevara basically killed homosexuals. And that's one of the things that I actually addressed in that speech, and how that's not necessarily too consistent, I guess. But yeah, and I basically told him that you don't have to be within the statist paradigm in order to fit in within the crowd. You don't have to be the one going with the stream. You can go against the stream if you want. And that's one of the primary things I actually addressed, and that's what I really support.
So what I would ask you, I suppose, is what's the answer? How do you bring more gays and whatnot into the movement?
There's always you could always there's it's kind of hard in a way, but it is doable. You could mention the history of the LGBT liberation movement in the United States, where the state is actually the oppressor, because in the 1950s there was anti-gay legislation that basically passed that if you were a homosexual, you were basically homosexual activity was basically illegal in the 50s, and then that one day in June that in the year 1969, there was this thing called the Stonewall riots, or the Stonewall uprising, which basically that the gays had enough, because notably in the Stonewall Inn, it was owned by the mafia, and the ATF raided the inn on that night, and they were known to bring in homosexuals and transgender folks and stuff, and it was actually even illegal to cross-dress, and that's and they were basically searching everyone. They were basically trying to prove gender by showing by going up male cross-dressers dresses, and basically that was just way too invasive, and they had enough. So basically they rioted right outside the inn. That was enough for the LGBT people back then, and that was basically the precipice of what the LGBT liberation movement actually came to be in the United States.
Cool. Okay. I'd like to open it up and give either Josh or Dano here a chance to weigh in.
Yeah. So I wonder about why people feel like they have to be liberal if they are gay or transgendered or anything. Is it because they want to feel welcome, or like they're part of something, like part of a group, that kind of thing? Or is it more like, since they have been oppressed, now they want to fight back? Is that what's going on?
Usually the reason why that a lot of people a lot of like LGBT folks in specific lean to the liberal side or the Democrat side is basically due to like social pressure and and just peer pressure and stuff like that, because there's a lot of um, with the left, basically the left basically hijacked the whole entire LGBT cause, and that's just that's not really right, because LGBT liberation is not just a left-wing or right-wing issue; it's an individual liberty issue, and that's one of the things that I also addressed as well, is that it's an individual liberty issue. It has no political orientation whatsoever.
Who was your biggest who's your biggest influence in becoming where you are right now?
The main person who actually got me into like anarcho-capitalism and voluntarism and those type of ideals would probably be Adam Kokesh. Like, he actually got me on board with it, because I saw his videos, I saw his and that is what really got me onto the ideals of anarcho-capitalism, voluntarism, and even agorism and stuff. That is what really got me on board with it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I was on the Ron Paul train for a little while, and then once I heard Adam's rants about voluntarism and self-ownership, that's really where I kind of started. I still like his work. He's not my favorite or anything like that anymore, but I do owe that dude some credit. That's for sure.
Well, yeah.
All right.
Marcel, you might have. I got one more. So, how did you make that connection between, gun rights, or the right to self-ownership, really? But how are you trying to progress that? The connection between LBGT and guns. It's like a connection that isn't often made, and you usually hear about different, different ideas, and they're all different types of liberty, but really it's all liberty, of course. But yeah, so how did you make that connection, really?
With the page I basically created. I mean, like, I wanted to have a a source where basically because I wanted to seek like-minded individuals. I wanted to seek like-minded gays that basically advocated for gun rights as well. So I had the idea of why not just make a page about it and see if people come on board. And I was so ecstatic that I actually had within the first week I had about over 600 subscribers, I think. And then basically within the next week we had our first 1,000, and I was like, wow, like this is amazing. Like, but I'm not necessarily too sure of how the numbers progressed, but it was but it was around there. Like, it just started progressing more and more, and then once we got mentioned into Vice, and then now Reason, I was like, that our numbers basically actually doubled and stuff like that. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. So right now we have over 5,000 subscribers to LGBT for gun rights, and I was like, wow, I'm just so amazed. But how I make that connection though is that alongside LGBT liberation, um, there is also liberation within gun rights as well. And plus, being from Connecticut, gun rights is a really heated debate, especially when you engage into leftists and so like that. And I have personal experience with it, but yeah, like it's a really heated debate right here. So I wanted to like have that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we really covered all of my criteria or my questions here. So I know you had some topics you wanted to bring up, and we got to go over the currency prices and.
Sure. Yeah, let's talk about this article that I basically glazed over, I guess. But it's it's definitely an interesting premise. This idea of military socialism. Of course, the military is socialism, but you can, in certain ANCAP circles, you'll find the idea of privatizing the military, which is basically just security. Of course, the same thing with the police. If you took all that away, you'd have defense contractors in a real private sector, or anarchy, and security and all this other stuff. But the idea was, the more that we talk about the military, and the more that we talk about capitalism, a lot of people consider them similar because of competition. We've got to beat up the other companies, and we got to take them down, and we're going to win, and all this. But really, in the free market, yes, there's competition, but in the end, it produces the best kind of thing that we can have, the best kind of life we can have. And the military destroys everything. It's the complete opposite. Creation versus destruction, life versus death. You know what I mean? So that's what they were talking about. They were also talking about how there are tons of war games, and we love to have games like Risk and Access and Allies and that kind of thing. Or even in video games and all kinds of stuff. So we kind of glorify the state in that sense. So it's socialized into our head. So that's kind of what they were talking about in this article. I found this at Mises.org, and it was written, I believe, today. So that's the premise. Does anybody want to jump in and how much we glorify the military, that kind of thing?
I mean,
it's easy,
Be a Veterans Day.
Yeah, I'd say I'd call myself an expert in this area, to be quite honest, and I'm not an expert in many fields. Please understand that, and you guys know that I did the Army thing, and it was for me, it was Veterans Day Sunday. My girlfriend and I, we went to McCormick and Schmidt's and got some free salmon because we're both veterans and all this glorious nonsense. And it was a great meal. I'm not even gonna lie. We had a good time. It was a nice date, nice fancy place. While I had my Cop Block T-shirt on, and everybody was looking at me funny, but it's funny. If you're not pissing off the people who aren't unplugged from the Matrix yet, you're doing it wrong, I think. And of course, the military is glorified through media and government and all of it. I mean, look at Call of Duty. It's the most popular video game, I think, that I'm even aware of. And what does that make everybody do? Want to go be an airborne ranger and kill brown people and all this stuff, right? Yeah. There's this movie out right now with Brad Pitt and I don't know, the kid from Transformers, whatever his name is, out right now that glorifies tankers in European World War II, and of course, the victor always writes history, and currently our victor is in charge of the media, and I think this is a conspiracy-esque idea, but I think they're in charge of movies and TV and all of it, to be honest, through things like the FCC and all of that. You know, but I can rant about this for hours, so I'm gonna pass the torch off to whoever's next.
Mike just made an awesome point about how the military, not just the military, but just the nationalistic mindset of the country glorifies the actions of whatever team that they're cheering for. You can make the case that Goebbels, in Nazi Germany, he was big on Nazi propaganda films, and he would always make films about, you know, the Germans killing, like one German killing a bunch of Americans, and that's what they would air.
Can I put in?
Yeah.
I don't like the word propaganda. What we are doing right now is propaganda. That's all I want to say. As you were.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and it gets people to cheer for their team, to get people on board to go hoot and holler, so that the politicians can send poor kids out to fight and die for their own political gain, and that's going on for thousands and thousands of years. This isn't something that the United States has created.
I would say that we do, like, you know, glorify, like, you know, the military and stuff like that. I mean, like, I was recently in a debate with a friend of mine who was basically in high school with me, and he went right in the military, and I posted on Instagram this photo with, like, you know, the troops, like, you know, fighting the White House and stuff like that, saying that the troops defended freedom. This is what it would look like, and I posted that, and he was, like, you know, saying, like, well, some people fight because they were contracted into it, etc., etc., and I know that for a fact. And then basically I quoted, you know, and basically within that argument I quoted, you know, Friedrich Bastiat, that said, like, you know, that said, like, you know, if you that when the law contradicts morality, then the citizen has the cruel alternative to either give up his moral sense or his respect for the law. And because we were, like, on debate with, like, you know, on because I said that it's basically the duty. It's a duty for, like, you know, for military to disobey illegal orders, and we were on that debate, and I also quoted that of Henry David Thoreau, saying that disobedience is the true foundation of liberty, and he said, well, some people have, like, you know, have, like, you know, families to feed, and et cetera, and I laid this historical precedent that with the Nuremberg trials, that stated that that basically every single Nazi soldier basically said, well, I was just following orders. And I'm pretty sure that the Nazi soldiers had families to feed. I'm pretty sure that they didn't want to gas the Jews. I'm pretty sure that they didn't want to have people, like, you know, to kill people by firing squad. I'm pretty sure they didn't want to do that, but yet they were ordered to do it because of, you know, because they were just following orders, just to actually have some self-preservation, which I understand. But there is also that line of where the troops would cross. Is that what line is there? What line would that be? And yeah, like we just there is, so, like, you know, there military recruiters trying to get young people to join and stuff like that, and I'm just like, I'm very leery about that. But
Yeah, it kind of stinks when people just follow orders, and we were talking about this before, like in a past episode, where the idea of processing your order is literally ripped from you because you're not allowed to think about it. You're told to shoot on demand without thinking about what you're doing, and it doesn't matter what order or who it's coming from. And this goes for the military and the police. They're literally just blind, or their cognitive skills that they grew up with is no longer. And then when they reincorporate themselves into the economy later on, I think that's why they go into PTSD, because they don't know how to think anymore. They're not trained that way anymore. I'm not sure if Michael can, when he gets back, maybe he can, contribute to this, but it kind of sucks, we lose people. We literally are losing people. They become slaves, and that's my problem with the whole military, at least. They have no economic skill anymore.
22 veterans, on average, conservatively estimated, are killing themselves every day. And it's not because of the things they've seen, but it's the things that they've done. The things they've been ordered to do. And they feel guilty about doing it.
I think I know what we're talking about right now.
Right, I kind of transitioned back. Sorry.
I don't care, man. If I'm ever going to have this conversation, it's with people who aren't veterans that I like to do it,
Understood. Yeah, it's just, you're right. Earlier, I was, thinking maybe it's because they don't have any economic skills anymore, and they're, told not to think. They're told to take an order and just do it. Yeah, that makes more sense. They have conscience. They have this, something in them is morally destroyed because of what they've done. That makes more sense. So they're basically just coming to terms with it, but they don't know how to deal with it, is what it is, right?
Will I ever escape this conversation?
Yes, eventually.
No, I won't. Let's say I continue to do the video thing, and I have this writing project coming up and stuff.
Right.
I'm always going to run into this, and it sucks because I don't even like to talk about it, And it's not that it's just boring. I'm just sick of it. I've been having this conversation for 2 years now, like a year now, as a voluntarist or whatever.
Yeah.
Just yank.
Just yank.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Ah, and there's my dog.
Nice.
Yeah, I just find it. I'm just sick of it, really, myself.
Right.
And I know it's going to come up forever, no matter what I do. Especially if let's say we become well known or something, right? Exactly. Well, look at Marcel over here.
Right.
No, but if it happens, it's gonna always be brought up. When do you hear the word Adam Kokesh and the fact that he's a Marine not in the same conversation?
Right. It's part of who he is. He's got a history.
It's part of who I am, and I just need to. I don't know. I just need to suck it up. It's just boring.
All right. Well, let's move on to the currency then. Let's take a break. I'll take a minute and do the currency prices. So this is what I've got. The last time we did the show was November 3rd, and tonight I took these prices at 8:35. Tonight being November 10th. Silver was $16.14, and tonight it's $15.69. So that went down 45 cents. That's a 2.8% change. Gold went from 1165.96 to 1156.04. That's only a $9.92 drop, about $10. So that's about 0.9%. Bitcoin went from 323.49 to 368.71. That's up 45.22. That's up 14%. So Bitcoin really is still pretty freaking volatile. But yeah, and everything's still going down, including oil and gas and all that. And so eventually it's going to start going up, but who knows when? We don't know when that low has hit, and it doesn't matter. I've got silver. I'm stable. I know Michael has Bitcoin. Correct?
I have about 64 cents of Bitcoin right about now, to be honest. Bitcoin's volatile, right? I watched a video like yesterday about a Bitcoin jet, about a Bitcoin airplane. So I'm still thinking the business is booming myself.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Actually has a Bitcoin wallet in my school, and I was like, oh my gosh, I actually met like who actually believes in alternative currencies. Yes. But yeah, like it was so amazing. I found someone who uses Bitcoin. Yes.
Yeah, that's great, man. I'm sure I've already said this on this show before now. This is only my second co-host, but I've been on twice, I think too. I woke up one morning like 2 months ago, and I'm gonna say that I may have helped, not even influence, but my girlfriend find the resources to come to understand anarchism. But it was on her own accord that she found it. But about Bitcoins and turning people onto Bitcoins and finding people who like it, I woke up one morning like 2 months ago, and Karen's like, yo, I opened a wallet and I have like this much Bitcoins now, and like she had more money than I did, and I had nothing to do. I had absolutely nothing to do with it, and I don't know. It was beautiful. I was blown away, and I don't know. I love my girlfriend, man. I don't know what else to say about that.
Nice.
Sometimes it takes someone to just experience anarchy on a physical level to just, that's it, that's all they really need.
Yeah, I met 2 out of 3 of you clowns at Porkfest initially, right? And,
yeah.
and that's where Karen, I think, experienced it rather than just heard me ranting and yelling and arguing with retarded people online and whatnot, We walked through the Agora the whole time. That was my favorite part, more than the panels. Like, I used to have, I have like a boner for Larkin Rose, and I liked the Agora more than his panel, and
well, yeah, like
he saw what was really going down, and
Oh, I witnessed it firsthand. I was in Agora promoting a business, and I witnessed people saying, "Oh man, I really like this T-shirt, but I don't have $12. But I got really good food cooking over there. I'll give you a plate for free for a T-shirt."
Oh wow.
Yeah. Oh, I'll give you an ounce of silver for 2 T-shirts.
Oh yeah.
And an ounce of silver back in June, I think, was $21 an ounce.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
I witnessed that voluntary exchange, and it was so awesome. Even words can't even explain that.
Yeah, like when I went to Porkfest for the first time, I saw I saw anarchy in action. I mean, like I saw what our ideals were in action. I mean, like I swear, like I saw, I was at at Matthew Dalton's tent and Trip Pug's tent and stuff like that, and and this person did not have any money. So basically, they did like a barter trade, and I was like, "Wow, this is amazing." because I never really, because you never really see, barter being, traded. You never see, like, I mean, like, I saw, like, even some people actually trading, things in silver, trading things in Bitcoin. Even the Litecoin was even accepted and even Dogecoin was actually even accepted. And I was like, wow. Yeah, I still talk about Porkfest to this day. There's like that I know probably are getting fed up with me talking all about Porkfest in New Hampshire and et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, like I like I even bragged to it about to my friends. I mean, like this actually went down, and I was like. And even like all the people there was very friendly too. But yeah, like I left my phone on charge, and then I went to a seminar for about 45 minutes, and my phone was still there, and I was like, wow, this is so amazing. It's just, like this all peacefully coexisted, and it's so amazing. I loved it. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it was. It was a great experience for me, and like you said, how you talk about it constantly. I do the same thing. I've asked Josh every single time I've been on here. I've definitely brought it up, and it was beautiful. And the thing is, for me, I had experienced black markets and gray or free markets, whatever you want to call it. I have dealt drugs in the past numerous times for numerous periods of time in numerous locations. It's barter is not a new concept to me exactly, but on the scale that the Agora is mind-blowing. It really is. I can offer a service. I can sing you a song for a t-shirt if you find subjective value in my song, right?
Yeah, my thing is I've been buying like silver for a long time. Michael, you know this. I've been buying silver for, well, a few months, I guess. I did buy like 3 10-ounce bars like probably like 3 or 4 years ago, and that was when it was $20 an ounce-ish at the time, and then it went up to it just kept on going up, and once it hit like $40 an ounce, I sold them off, and it went up all the way to almost $50, and then it started dropping down to like 30 or something. So I made a profit. So now I've been buying silver over the last few months, and the price keeps on going down, but I don't really care. It's about the fact that it is money, and I can't wait, honestly, to meet up with you guys up at Porkfest next year, because I really am looking forward to an actual free market, and just honestly, yeah, that I want to see all of that in action, like you guys are saying. I'm kind of really jealous right now. So, yeah.
Dude, you are an hour closer than I am. You're 2 hours away.
Not even.
Stop making excuses, dude.
No excuse.
It's really not. If it's a matter of money, dude, it's really not an expensive trip.
Right. Absolutely not.
I mean, no, I don't go for the full week. Like, I'll go for 3 days towards the end of the trip. But
yeah.
It really cost me maybe like we stay at a hotel because I like a bed and shower, but. Well, let me just tell you this.
Yeah,
the shower.
You're so lucky. I mean,
this year. But really, you're gonna. I mean, if you choose to stay at a campsite, you choose to stay at a hotel, you got that fee. But other than that, man, I mean, it's not that expensive, and it's a super good time. You'll never forget it.
Isn't Marcel supposed to be the gay one here?
Oh.
Yeah. Like I
Ouch.
I was like, I was so jealous that you had like a shower and all that shit. I mean, like I just went throughout the whole entire week not taking a shower because like I was like, I don't like cold showers, so I didn't want to bother with the campground showers. And once I heard that there was hot water, and I was like, yes. And then once I heard that well drain, and I was like, shit, why? Why did this happen to me?
Yeah.
I was drunk the whole time anyway, so I didn't care about showers.
Yeah, I was like 98%, 88%
Oh,
of the
I
time
know.
I was stoned. So
I know.
yeah,
We may have made a black market transaction with each other, but that's just alleged.
yeah, like. Yeah, as a matter of fact, you know that pop brownie that you gave me? I also bought a pot cookie. I also bought a pot cookie as well, and I had both of them at the same time.
No, bad move.
Oh, dude.
I did not know the rules or anything, but after an hour later, I was like, wow, man.
So that's why you were shirtless at the big gay dance party, dancing up on the thing. Now I get it.
You see what you're missing here, Josh? You see what you're missing? You see what you're missing?
Rocking the big gay dance party.
All I'm guys. I'm just gonna drink a beer, sit back, relax, watch the show.
Yeah, I don't dance on stages myself, but consensual.
Marcel's not proving me wrong right now. He's just laughing.
So Josh, we have what 5 months, 6 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're getting close.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to organize this little. I've met a lot of people who have networked in the liberty movement, I suppose, and I've met a lot of people who are going, and I've met some people in real life too, and
yeah.
He's actually going to be too occupied with bigger and better things this year, I guess. But.
No, I'm taking a 1-year break from PortFest this year. I'm going to visit a friend that I've known for years that lives in Wisconsin, and so yeah, that's gonna be my little summer getaway this year. But I want to get there for PortFest 13.
There's a real joke here that I want to make, but because of
Go ahead.
Bring it.
Make the joke.
Can I make the joke? He's afraid of Mike Shanklin. Mike Shanklin's going to beat him up if he goes to PortFest. and I just got our show banned.
That doesn't even make sense, though, because it's against the NAP, right?
Oh, there's so much more to this conversation, but we really shouldn't do it here. Really.
Yeah, you know what? I fear him like I fear a box of kittens.
Okay, good. Because I happen to like Michael Shanklin.
I do.
Okay. So, anything else you guys want to talk about? We've got another probably 10 minutes.
Well, we got famous Marcel here. We should take advantage of that.
Famous Marcel, that's it.
Yeah. So, as we already declared, you're quite the destroyer of social stigmas, I think. And not only are you a gay Christian anarchist gun supporter, but you date a gay anarchist Christian Jew, if I understand correctly.
Christian Jew?
Well, he's just Jewish.
He is Jew. Yeah, I thought he was a former Jew converted to Christianity or whatever. Okay.
No, he's still Jewish, and as a matter of fact, I even I'm even reading the Quran right now.
Great.
Like, wow. Yeah, like I'm even but yeah, like I'm just basically the destroyer of all I'm basically an SJW's worst nightmare or pet dream or whatever. I don't know, but
you're the reason that social justice warriors exist. Yeah, that's great. That's great. You and I fight online all the time, and and it's you're a real kick. I've never seen somebody use the word faggot more times, and I love it. Words don't hurt. Say what you want to say. Josh is gonna not like me when I say this, but fuck what other people think and just be yourself and just own that shit, dude. You're good.
Well, yeah, exactly.
If you're not pointing guns at anybody who doesn't point guns at you first, so suck what you want, dude. Who cares?
I remember Marcel posted like a meme
on
Facebook, and it had like Marcel's picture of himself and Justin Bieber, and he's like, "Oh, this is a homosexual, and this is a faggot."
Yeah, that meme went around quite a bit, and so that I even made a remake of that meme, but with Antonio Bueller instead of Justin Bieber. But yeah,
dude, Antonio Bueller is so much gayer than you are. Oh my god.
He actually outgays me, to be quite honest.
He's so much.
I think he called me racist once. I don't know.
You do have a shaved head.
Wrong. That must have been it. He called me a racist once, something that's like not even racist. Because I simply disagreed with him, he called me a racist.
He'll either call you a racist, bigot, or whatever.
I know we're way off topic here, but I don't think there's any going back on topic at this point. So let's just run with it.
Keep going.
Yeah, we're just too way down the rabbit hole to actually get back to our conversation.
I don't honestly. This is not. People might not like this. I don't really have a problem with racism unless you're doing physical or coercive or threatening things. I think you can think what you want to. You can think that because I'm Irish, I'm a drunk, which you might not be far off on that one.
Well, yeah, well, yeah.
But yeah, Marcel. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Irish, English, Italian, Hungarian, French, Canadian. So
you're a mudblood.
Yeah, like I have the Italian in me, and I'm not, and yeah, I mean, like and plus I might be gay, but I'm not necessarily a faggot though. But yeah.
Yeah,
You said that with such confidence. Dude.
Yeah. What I was trying to get at is that I don't think that words hurt. Words are really just oxygen coming out of your mouth, and you take the muscles in your throat and put them in a certain shape so certain sounds come. And that's all that words are, unless they're legislative or, again, coercive, threatening, etc. And I can call whatever name I want to, and they can do the same to me. And that's just what I feel about the matter. I can't hurt you with air coming out of my mouth. And maybe if I learn how to do some kind of projectile, I don't know. Like you guys know Bullseye from Marvel Comics, right? I could maybe pull that off.
Yeah, and I know that some people like do the argument that's saying that that words are like violent words are like violating the NAP and stuff like that. But don't you have the right to defend yourself against those words? But yeah.
Well, I think PC libertarianism or whatever you want to call that stuff is a contradiction. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you're trying to censor other people, you're not a fucking anarchist. You're not a libertarian.
Is it?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as to the reason why I, try to tone down the swearing, it's just toning it down. I'm not trying to prevent you from saying it. Just to make that clear.
Yeah, I'm gonna bust your chops about that until the day we stop doing this. So.
Okay.
Yeah, get ready.
Whatever. I'm just trying to spread the message. That's it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't care. As I said earlier, I might launch my own little show too on the side. And it's not going to be scheduled like this. I'll basically just get drunk and have some other drunk libertarian anarchists get on there, and I'll probably
You know who
who
you should have on there is Donovan Bach. Then he's really good.
Yeah, he is. Speaking of yelling and swearing and and being an asshole, we're gonna have Chris Cantwell on the show November 24th.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. He confirmed this morning. Who do we got next week, Josh?
We got Liberty Doll, correct?
Oh, that's right, Nikki. Yeah. Yep. So Liberty Doll next week. And then I swear to God, the following week is not going to be a celebritarian. I'm not going to schedule anything. I've already broken my word like twice.
It's all good. I'm really grateful for that, Michael. I don't have the hookup. I just
Dude, yes you do.
Stuff and do this. That's all I
You
do.
got Facebook. Just send a message, dog. It's mad easy.
Yeah, you're right. I just feel like, oh my God, he doesn't know me. You know what I
I
mean?
know, but as I said, I don't care what people think about me unless I care about them. So, and I have no filter. So it's
That's
whatever.
it. The worst they can say is no.
Exactly. There's
Oh,
no,
yeah, exactly.
no risk there. Worst case scenario, I end up in the same position.
Yeah.
And those odds get me in trouble pretty often.
I'd rather be in trouble, but instead of not doing anything with my life,
I'm sure you do more with your life than I do, bud.
I hear you, Michael. No, good stuff, man. Marcel, hey, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Well, it was nice. It was a pleasure having me.
Oh man, yeah, that was great.
That was good.
Dano,
Yo.
yo,
You're close.
what happened?
You're close.
Closer than most people that's never met me.
I'm just gonna call you Yo, okay? That way I can't screw up. No, I appreciate you being on the show too. We'll have you on maybe in a couple of weeks if you're down. Michael, maybe next week, maybe every week next to you. I don't know. It's up to you.
Yeah, well, I already told Mike. He talked to me about it last week sometime, and I said, yeah, just let me know in advance so I can figure out what it is that I want to discuss. So I don't have nothing to talk about while I'm on your airtime. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to being on.
Yeah, man. So tune in next week for Liberty Doll, and next week that will be November 17th at 9 p.m. That's live, and this show will be airing Wednesday at 3 p.m. on Voluntary Virtues. So thank you very much, everybody. Take care.